Hey there guys, and welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls. During this episode, what I intend on doing is setting up a way for new players who are new to the Souls series, and new to the Dark Souls game in particular, ways to efficiently run through the game for the first time. We're going to cover a lot of different classes. Today we're going to focus on the warrior class specifically, but we're going to cover all the classes and go through different ways that each of them can benefit from doing different things at the starting point. So without further ado, let's get into it. So just enter your character name, whatever you want. Just putting in my usual name, Ver, Var, whatever. Any name you want. Next is the gender of the character. Choose yourself male or female. Makes very little difference. These are different classes, as you can see there. Like I said, we're going for warrior. He's got high strength, high dexterity, very good class for people who want to try out all the weapons or want to try out a specific weapon or what have you. Knight is a pretty sturdy character. Wanderer, high dexterity, high mobility, not advised for beginners. The same with thief, very high dexterity, very high mobility. Bandit is pretty good, sturdy character, high strength. If you want to go for a big weapon that hits hard, that's the guy. Hunter, high dexterity, starts with a bow. Pretty much the opposite of Bandit. Sorcerer is arguably one of the easiest classes in the game to play, especially to start out with. They have spells that hit from a lot of damage at range, shields don't really block against them, and you can get lots of spells. Pyromancer is also very easy to play. They have close range magic and they're able to deal a lot of damage with magic. Cleric, if you want to buff yourself, if you want to heal yourself, if you want to buff your allies in PvE or what have you, that's great. Deprived, not recommended for beginners. You start off with very little equipment. So, like I say, Pyromancer is probably one of the best characters to play because of their fire magic. It doesn't require any stat investment to build up and works very well. So we're going to go for Warrior, like I said. I think he's the best class to start off as a new player, as long as you don't fancy playing a Sorcerer, of course. We're just going to go through the starting items. Goddess's Blessing just restores your health. Black Fire Bomb does more damage than the standard bomb, not an STD bomb. Twin Humanities. Humanities we'll get into later, what they are and what they do. Binoculars, pretty good, but you can pick them up in game. Pendant, big troll item, doesn't actually do anything. Master Key, the item we'll be taking, opens lots of doors. Tiny Being's Ring slowly restores your hit points. Old Witch's Ring is pretty interesting for sort of lore reasons. Allows you to talk to a particular NPC, but as I said, we're just going to take the Master Key and crack on. You build, choose whatever size you want your character to be. I've just chosen average just for the sake of saving time. I usually use ponytail here. We're just going to go with something a little bit different this time. Change the colour of your hair. Whatever you want, any of these. And if you want, that's a very basic character builder. You can go in here and change all these different settings and things like that that let you customize your character even further. And here you can go in and you can do all the usual things. You can change the size of your cheekbones, you can change how far your nose is forwards or backwards or what have you. But we're just going to keep this character the way he is, and off we go. Okay, so now we're in Lordran. First thing you want to do is go pick up these humanities. They'll come in really handy later on. So it said you've got an NPC here as well that you can talk to. That's fine, you can talk to him, not a problem. He's got some advice for you. This lady here is quite important as well. She's a firekeeper. She'll be the one to sort of boost your Estus Flask later on. Got a bit lost here, didn't really know where I was going with this. So what we're going to look at doing now is we're just going to look at going off and getting a couple of things. We're going to level up first of all so that we don't have any souls to spend, and we're going to immediately pump 3 levels into strength. This gives us a strength of 16 and a soul level of 7, leaving us with 57 souls. And now what we're going to do, we're just going to go run around and we're going to get a couple of things. And there's Petros there, an NPC. We don't need to talk to him on this character. Very handy if you're if you're a cleric specifically, if you use miracles. So if you just fall down this elevator shaft and then turn around, there's a walkway through here. Every character should do this, by the way. Every character should do this. You get some cracked red eye orbs if you want to do PvP. That allows you to invade other players. You get a Morning Star and a Talisman. Good strength weapon. And a Talisman is for faith users. Homeward Bones are super important because they allow you to return to your last bonfire without dropping your souls. And then Lloyd's Talisman's again very good for PvP. Now what we're going to do now, we're just going to drop down here and we're going to run. We're just going to go grab a couple of items. We're not going to mess about. It's a large soul of a lost undead, and we're not even going to try and fight these guys. Just run past them. Don't bother attacking. Large soul of a lost undead. Nothing amazing yet. Just keep running past these guys. Step around them when they're reforming. Don't stay still for too long. Pick up the Zweihander there. That's the main item we're going to be using for this character. And then pick up a Winged Spear, which is a very good dexterity weapon. If you're not into strength, that Zweihander is very good for you. So when you're running back here, you just want to keep running, just avoiding all these guys. Run until you can't run anymore, let your stamina regenerate. Run up these stairs here. Quite important to run up these stairs and then drop down by here. Because the enemies then will walk back down the stairs and come and get you, and it gives you a bit of breathing time. Jump through there. And rest at the bonfire. And what that'll do is that when you rest, it'll reset the spawns of all monsters. So those guys who spawned and aggroed us, they will come after us until we go to that bonfire. When we rest at that bonfire, poof, they're gone. Back to the starting area. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to run up here and just going to grab that item I saw there. It's only a large it's like Soul of Lost Undead or a large Soul of a Lost Undead. It's nothing fantastic, but it's handy to have. You know, extra souls, you can't really complain too much about it. So while I'm here, we're just going to try out the different weapons that we've picked up. Now this Zweihander requires a strength of 24 to use. So we can't use it with one hand, we have to use both hands. But because we pumped our strength to 16, we can use it two-handed. Now unfortunately it does make us slower as well. So unfortunately we do have to strip off some equipment. We're not using the shield to block, so we'll strip that off. Still a bit too heavy, unfortunately. So just going to go ahead and strip off our helmet and our gloves. And there we go. Nice fast rolls. Unfortunately won't improve the speed of our attack swing, it'll still remain pretty slow, but it's better to be mobile and do one big hit than it is to not be mobile and do one big hit. Okay, so now we're just going to go off and we're going to pick up a couple of extra things. We're just going to look at an NPC as well in particular, very useful if you're a spellcaster, very useful if you have some Titanite shards as well, because you can actually upgrade your weapons straight from Firelink Shrine. You don't need to unlock the other blacksmith that everyone seems to think is the first blacksmith. What we'll be doing is actually looking at this is the real first blacksmith. So just step over that to send it up behind yourself. If we drop down here, some souls. And I actually missed an item in this area as well. I mean, this immediate platform that we're on there. But I'll get back to that in a second.
Well, this is unusual. You haven't lost your head. And more importantly, you're free. How on earth? Well, as well.
So this is Rickert of Vinheim. You might have to talk to him a couple of times.
All that.
There you go. And with this, you're now able to upgrade your equipment. You can't ascend any weapons, so I don't know why I checked that out. But there you go. You can upgrade your weapons and things like that using Titanite shards. You can also purchase, as I said, spells if you're a spellcaster. If you started off as a sorcerer, it's really good to get some extra soul arrows. And also you can purchase a casting catalyst if you do want to become a sorcerer. So nice and easy, straight from the go, without leaving the first area really, you can get a couple of decent things. Okay, so what we're going to do here now, we're going to use our Master Key, which actually allows us to skip a whole part of the game, which I'll come into later on. I'll run across the bridge, being careful not to fall off, don't rush around like I did. You know, you can fall off very easily. Just hug the wall there and keep running. Now, in the background you can see a big thing. It's actually a dragon, or a zombified dragon, who is currently playing dead, or pretending to be asleep, either or. So what we're going to do, we're just going to walk around the edge here, and he won't actually aggro until you get right up close to him. So we're just going to gently walk up to him, and just grab that item. Okay, and then again the same thing, we're just going to gently walk up to him without running in, because if you run in, you're going to aggro him. pick that up, and then you pick this up and run. Dodge through that attack, and off you go. So he can't really do anything other than breathe poison when you're over here, and you're out of range of the poison, so you're fine. It's always safe on the bridge. Let's take a look at what we got. So here we are, a Stora's Straight Sword. It's a magical sword. Okay, it does 80 magic damage, 80 physical damage, but requires 14 faith to use. So if you're a knight or a cleric, you've got it made. You're really going to be quite happy with this weapon. It does, obviously it doesn't it requires the faith, but the longsword doesn't. But it also does that extra magic damage, which is important. Then we've got all the other items as well. Like I said, this is a dexterity weapon, so we're not able to use it because we haven't got high dexterity. However, if you're a dexterity user and you want a spear, this is the way to go with it, really. Morningstar, as I said, strength weapon, causes bleeding, which is quite useful, especially in PvP. A Stora's Straight Sword, we don't have the 14 faith required to use it, but it does have a very good moveset, like a longsword, like you would expect. And it's a very versatile weapon that scales pretty well. Very good if you want to be a cleric or what have you. So here we go. We got the other shield, which is almost identical to ours, except I think it weighs a bit more. Sorry, and has a bit higher a bit lower lightning resistance, but higher magic resistance. 100% physical, which is what we want from a shield. But obviously, while we're using the shield, we can't use our Zweihander, so we have to keep it on our back for now. Which is fine, because there are some uses for that, and we'll get into those in a little bit later. So now we're just going to head back to the New Londo ruins. And what we're going to look for there is a item that will actually allow us to boost our Estus Flask to make it even stronger. Again, I did miss an item by here. It's a weapon called the S-Stock. It's a very good dexterity-based weapon. I think it's actually just behind me, and I forgot to go look for it. What we're going to do now, we're just going to test the damage of the longsword versus the heavy attack on the longsword, 68. Light attack on a longsword, 38. So there's a good 30 damage difference. Okay. Now we're just going to quickly change. Zweihander. Obviously we are two-handed in the Zweihander, so if you one-hand it and we haven't got the strength, you'll do no damage and your attacks will rebound. If you two-hand it, you can use it properly. 141 damage. I know we're two-handing it, so it's like comparable to the 68, but that's still a very big difference, and that was the heavy attack, 169. So, you know, it is very slow, and it is very clunky. And you can look how much stamina it uses. You can only use it twice. You can swing the sword twice before you're entirely out of stamina. But having said that, you know, is it worth the damage? Probably yes. So just roll down here and break the pot, and pick up this item. You're going to need this later, Transient Curse. We won't go into that now because you will need it later when you come back to this area to do it for realsies. So what we're going to do, we're just going to run ahead over here. And be sure, like I said, to go back. If you cross this bridge, you won't find the S-Stock. It's back there. I don't know why I didn't pick it up. Sorry, guys. But it's a very good dex weapon that will see you through a lot of the early game. So there's a ghost by here. You're going to avoid her. Roll out of the way of her grabs. And then you're going to want to run straight through here. Careful not to fall off. Go between those guys. Grab that. There's no point trying to run back. Just throw yourself off. You've only lost 193 souls, but you've gotten a very, very, very powerful item. So just get out of there. It's not a problem. If you do have a lot of souls on you and you do want to keep them, Homeward Bone, just to try to escape any way you can, but Homeward Bone or death is the best way to go. So now we're going to rest at the bonfire. Obviously we can't level up. Don't know why I did that, but there we go. Maybe force of habit, see a bonfire, rest at it. Right, so now we're going to go speak to this lovely lady, and we're going to reinforce our Estus Flask. There you go. And as you can see, our Estus Flask has gone from Estus Flask to Estus Flask +1. What that allows us to do is gain more health when we need to heal ourselves. Simple as that. It just heals us for more. Still get the same amount from your bonfires, from your Estus when you rest there, but you get more HP from them. So let's progress to the main part of the game. Because we've got the Zweihander, and we've got the 16 strength to use it, we're able to just one-hit almost everything for this part of the game. what you want to do here when you run up, just run through the fire there, and then you want to hit that guy. Don't lock on, mess me around a bit there. I didn't mean to go that squiff on it. That guy got hit, and that's fine. So just be sure to that your camera doesn't mess you around like mine did. Go through here and deal with this rat. Don't let him attack you because he will poison you, which you're not equipped to deal with just yet. Pick up a Soul of a Lost Undead. Sometimes the rat will drop your humanity. Through here and up the stairs. And now you deal with these guys. I think I actually get hurt quite a bit here from playing very, very sloppily. Yeah. That's fine. Not a problem. We've got 10 Estus flasks. I'm not worried. On half health. Just rush this guy and get him. And then be ready to turn around and fight that guy behind you who tries to ambush you. Just let him do his combo and then we'll get a backstab on him. Not much is going to stand up to many backstabs from us. Nothing in this room, just a load of boxes. Feel free to roll into them if you want your frame rate to die. Up you go into the mist. Right here goes on without us. Soul of a Lost Undead, more souls, never hurts. And then hold down L1 to block the shockwave from the dragon. It won't damage you, it'll just stun you a bit. Really cool effect for the first time you're playing through the game. Right, so we're going to run through this bit, and I'm going to kill the crossbow guy first. Because if you're trying to fight those guys and you've got a crossbow slamming into your face every couple of seconds, it's not a very fun time. There you go, 2 guys, 1 swing. I'm sure that's the thing somewhere. And then we're going to want to go back down here now that we've cleared out the area. Someone managed to get a message in mid-air, not too sure how they managed that. Skills. These guys are using shields all day long. I usually try to just parry their attacks, but I can't really do that without a shield. So what you can do here is use these guys to practice your parries. Yeah? And you might notice there that I actually, when I parried him, you actually have to swap to two-handed before you riposte, otherwise you won't deal any damage. There's a guy hiding in the bookshelf there. Deal with him. Now, here's our sort of first proper merchant. Obviously we spoke to the blacksmith, but this guy is a proper merchant, quote unquote proper. What we're doing with this guy is going to buy a couple of bits and pieces off of him. If you're a Dex character, buy whatever you want from him, with exception to the key, and then kill him. Reason being is because he drops a very, very good katana. It's the earliest point at which you can get a decent scaling Dex weapon in the game, and it is a very good item. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to buy a short bow, buy some standard arrows.
Thank you, Kai.
And now we're going to, we couldn't buy enough arrows, so what we're going to do is just get a pop a soul. Accidentally use the soul of a proud knight. It's a bit overkill. Don't worry about using a soul of a proud knight if you can't. But it is a bit overkill to use that. But on the plus side, it allows us to buy as many arrows as we please. So we're just going to go up to 50 arrows all together here. And then we're going to carry on our merry way. So we're not even going to equip that yet. That's for something later on. So now you get to see the Zweihander in action. Smack, smack. And then, like I said, we've got a buffed Estus flask. So when we go to heal ourselves, it's really noticeable. That's the Zweihander in action. Wrong button there. So just climb up this ladder here after you've gotten rid of those guys. And you can pick up some throwing knives off of this guy. And then you can see that doorway there if you run and jump to it. Don't miss the jump, it doesn't end well. Then go up here and around the corner, and there's a crossbow. So if you want to just be a strength guy, you don't want to invest any points into dexterity, you can get your crossbow out, and you can use that. Now you might be asking, Var, but why did you buy a short bow if you know you're going to pick up a crossbow? Well, in Dark Souls you can't manually aim crossbows. They didn't introduce that until I think Dark Souls 2 or 3. So you wouldn't be able to aim your crossbow at what we need to aim it at later on. But you can still lock on, you can still shoot it with one arm, which is with one hand, which is great. But now we're going to rest at the bonfire. And we're going to look at leveling up a bit. I think we can only get 2 levels, so we're just going to pop those in quickly. So our points are going to go into vitality, oh, almost made a mistake there. That's attunement, we didn't want that. We wanted endurance. Endurance is a great stat because it gives you stamina, which is the green bar, allows you to perform actions, gives you a equip load as well, which means we're able to carry more things, which is great. And it also gives you some defense, but I think every level gives you defense, so don't worry about it too much. Obviously, when we rest at a bonfire, all the enemies will respawn, so just get ready to be aware of that. Be aware that you will have to deal with the guys that you've already killed. They will respawn every single time. Right, so now we'll be on our merry way. Just run across this bridge so you don't get hit by the fire bombs. And then you get these guys. I was going to try and be fancy and parry this guy, but I messed it up. And then accidentally hit him for 2 damage. So I figured, right, don't mess around with this, let's just kill him. Same with this guy, smack him in the face. Same with this guy. Wait for him to walk up to us and smack him in the face. Eventually. There we go, we got him. Don't be afraid to use Astus, I mean they're there to be used. I thought that guy was closer than he was. Okay, deal with him. And around the corner here, there you go. If you've got a big dumb weapon like the Zweihander, you can swing it through most walls. And then over here, pick up a chest, which has a black firebomb in it. Again, one of the starting items that you could have chosen. Just gives you a firebomb that you throw, gives you decent ranged attack, just does more damage than a normal weapon. Let's just deal with this guy, and then deal with this guy, and then deal with this guy. We let him get a hit in. If we go through here, this is because we've got the master key. If you kill the undead merchant or you buy the key off of him, you can also unlock the door with that. And that guy then got a very lucky headshot off on us, which deals extra damage. Headshots deal extra damage. And you can tell by the noise they make whether it's a headshot or not. So what we're going to do, we're just going to walk down to here. Now we're just going to grab our chest, which has a very useful item on it and will make the game make the first boss incredibly easy for us, as you will see in a few moments. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to wait for this guy. So walk up the stairs very casually. Just going to try and riposte this guy. And then I parried him, but I didn't get the riposte in. Titanite Shard, very good item for leveling up your equipment. Definitely something you want to use. Let's go do his little stab, and then pay him back in kind. And we picked up a longsword, identical to the one we started with. So up here is a trap. You want to be wary of this. You want to just run up here, and then turn around immediately. There you go, and dodge that. Okay, then let this guy do his thing, and then smack him, again repaying him in kind. Okay, now there is an optional enemy down here. There's 2 optional enemies. One of them we're going to fight, one of them we're going to ignore. This is the one we're going to ignore. He is a Black Knight. He stands a chance of dropping a very powerful item. Weapon, sorry, for strength characters. But we're not going to deal with him today because he's very difficult to deal with. And you don't really need to. He doesn't really give you anything. It's a chance to drop something good. And he gives you a fair bit of souls. So I mean, come back when you're about level 20ish and you're feeling a bit more confident. I'll certainly show you how to kill him, but not at this point in time. What we're going to do, we're going to go to the other optional enemy, who's sort of like a mini boss. and he drops a very, very useful item. It's a 100% chance drop rate, very useful if you're this class, if you're a knight, anything that wants to wear heavy armor, you must kill this guy and get this item. Don't have to do it straight away, but obviously it helps to do it sooner rather than later. Now you do have to be careful with this guy, because he is very, very strong. There's a reason he's locked in a room at the very, very bottom of a tower, on his own. Okay? The main way you're going to go about defeating this guy is not by rolling into him like I just did. You're going to actually try to go around him, like that. And not do that, because as I said, he's very difficult to go around. So, unfortunately, that's just one of those things. But I'll skip now to the fight, and you can just see me taking him on. Hey, welcome back guys. So, we've just gotten Havel again. Just gotten back to him and just aggroed him. This is actually my 4th attempt at killing him. It didn't go very well for me at all. So what we're going to do, we're just going to walk around him like that and just try to get a backstabbing on him. You're going to want to be blocking the whole time, because if he does hit you, which you will see, he will hit me here. There you go. It won't take your health entirely, but it will drain a lot of your stamina. So just be aware of that. Try not to fight him on the stairs. You want to have room to walk around him. Try not to give him too much room either. I know I'm giving him quite a bit of room there. But you just want to lure out some attacks. Make sure that you're dropping your block when you go to attack him as well. If you're blocking while you're trying to backstab him, you won't get the backstab on him. And that attack that he did there, where he leapt back and then sort of ran forwards, that's what you want to lure out, because it's very easy to avoid. Like I said, just walk around him, circle strafe into him. We sort of hold the left movement stick sort of at a sort of somewhere between 5 past and 10 past, if it was a clock, that sort of area. So you can move forwards and to his right at the same time, and your character will stay facing him. When he attacks, you'll avoid the attack, because it's such a slow attack. You'll avoid it. And then you can get your back. You can drop your guard and get your backstab in. You won't sort of need this if you're playing a spellcaster. You won't sort of need this if you're playing a thief or a rogue or assassin or any sort of. If you want to play that sort of type of character, you don't need this this item. This is only for if you're playing a heavily armed warrior using a heavy weapon, heavy shield, heavy armor, etc., etc., etc. There we go. Getting him down. He does have a mountain of health, and you know full well that our sword does a ton of damage against normal enemies, but Havel is not a normal enemy. He is very tough, and his armor is the best armor in the game as far as physical stats are concerned. But you know, keep trying, keep persevering, and you will get him. And your reward for beating him is Havel's Ring, which is what we want to equip straight away. So as you can see, it says there, boosts maximum equipment load. The ring was named after Havel the Rock, Lord Gwyn's old battlefield compatriot. Havel's men wore the ring to express faith in their leader to carry a heavier load. And you can see there that our equip load has gone up to a maximum of 81, so it goes from 54, which is why it is at the moment, to 81. So it increases your equipment load by a hell of a lot. So now we can go back, we can equip all our gear, and we can be light rolling like there's no tomorrow. Not a problem at all. So with that then, we've got one Estus flask left, but we get a boost in just a second from someone else boosting up their fire. That's how the online aspect works of it. If someone upgrades their fire, which I'll explain about in a different video, then you, if you're in the area, you will get an extra Estus flask. So if you're out there, thanks for that, buddy. You really helped. So we're just going to break this barrel, and out pops this little guy. He's a crystal lizard, and he's basically a rare material spawn. When you kill him, or when you see him, he'll run away from you if you get within a certain range. When you see him, you have to kill him, otherwise they actually start to despawn. I think you get 3 chances, I think. After that, you're out of luck. So we're just going to go to this boss. We're only going to equip the very necessary things that we need. Only 2 things. It's the gold prime resin that we picked up earlier, which buffs our weapon to deal lightning damage, and of course our Estus flask. You're almost always going to have that on your bar anyway, so that's fine. So we're just going to go through the door, walk up straight up this ladder, right behind us, straight away up here. There are 2 guys with crossbows up here, so we want to deal with these guys ASAP. 1 hit, 2 hit, don't know where that shot went. Good job, buddy. And this is something we're going to come back to in a minute. So we're going to slide down here and start walking. So what you want to do, you want to get your gold pine resin ready. Before the boss spawns, you're going to want to put your gold pine resin on your weapon. As soon as you see his head pop up, you want to turn around and run back towards the ladder. Ignore the music, it's very dramatic. It doesn't need to be this dramatic. It's designed for first time jitters. So what we're going to do, we're just going to wait for him here now. Wait till he looks up at you, and then do a jump attack. Boom, 720 damage. Okay, now we're just going to try him. Just keep going, keep hitting him as hard as you possibly can. There you go. Job to get him. It's that simple. That was very well done, if I do say so myself. But you know, you can make this fight extremely easy for yourself on this warrior class. If you're having problems getting past this guy or getting up to this point in the first part of the game, then this is how you do it as a warrior. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far, this first episode. I'm going to look at doing different classes. I think we're going to look at the mage or the sorcerer next, so we've got a different bit of variety, and we'll go up to the same point with this character, maybe get a few different items. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.